Yeah, I think I said similar after the Arsenal game. We feel like we need another game. We're delighted to play quickly and try and build momentum back in our performance. I felt, reflecting on the Brighton game, was mixed. So a lot of good in the game. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. We lost the game, and we know we need to improve.
And how are you looking in terms of availability of players for this game? There was no Sandro training this morning. Is there an issue over him?
Yeah, a bit of illness with Sandro, so he'll be touch and go for the game.
I mean, to miss him, I guess, would be a huge blow. Will you give him every opportunity?
Yeah, we'll give him every opportunity. I think, he wasn't there, obviously, at training today, and he's such an important player. So, yeah, we'll use all the hours we have.
Actually, Nisha?
Hi Eddie, Jose Mourinho has been such an important figure in the Premier League. Have you followed his career post-Premier League, and how do you think he's evolved as a manager?
It's difficult when you're in work to do too much following of other people and clubs. I think he's someone that I hugely admire, having come up against him before in the Premier League, and I think as a younger coach, really admired the teams that he built at Chelsea in particular. I thought definitely a visionary, someone that broke the mould really in terms of how you manage and different ways to do things. And then following his success through different clubs, different leagues, incredible really what he's achieved in his career. So I think it's always a great opportunity for any club to go up against one of his teams. And yeah, looking forward to the challenge immensely, and I think it's going to be a great game.
I know you've had the international break, but you've had players that have travelled a long distance. You've had, a tough game at Brighton. You've got all these games coming up. Is there something about being under lights on a Tuesday evening with that crowd that could kind of give you that boost that perhaps the players might need to get going again after the break and after the Brighton game?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for us to use that as a stimulus. We love these games. I mean, the Barcelona game here was so close for us. It could have been a very, very different outcome. And it feels we've been in that position a lot this season where the results could have gone either way. We've been very competitive. We were competitive that night. Has a similar type feel under lights here. The atmosphere will be electric, I've got no doubt. I hope our performance mirrors that crowd energy that we're going to get. And I think if we're at our very best, we have a good chance.
Thank you, good luck.
Thank you. Damien Spellman?
Eddie, you had some early success in your meetings with Jose. What are your memories of those games over the years?
Yeah, just great games. I think any Premier League win, I always said to you guys, any Premier League win is savoured, regardless of where you are. It's so difficult to do it in the Premier League, and especially against, at that stage of my career, Chelsea were one of the strongest teams in the league, and I think some great wins for us at the time. Being Bournemouth manager gave us the belief that we could compete in the Premier League, being a newly promoted team. You need every shot of confidence you can get. So, yeah, I look back fondly with those games, but obviously this game's very different. It's a different kind of experience. We now, and said this before the previous Champions League game, we're desperate to qualify in the competition. We know the importance of our home games. So after the disappointment at Barcelona, we're looking forward to this one.
And just if Sandro doesn't make it, how important is it that people like Lewis Miley and Jacob Ramsey have, although limited, they have Champions League experience?
Yeah, they have Champions League experience, but they're also very, very good players. I think we've got a really strong midfield this year. So if one player is missing, it's an opportunity for a very good player to come in and grab theirs. I thought both players did well when they came on Saturday.
Okay, we're going to Mark Douglas, then to Chris, please.
Eddie, it's been strange sort of starts to the season. How do you kind of assess it coming off the back of that Brighton game? Because you probably deserved a little bit more than you've got.
Yeah, frustrating is the feeling, I think, because I think we're so close to being something more, getting better results than we have. I think the team performances have been strong. I think we've been very good defensively, although there was a couple of lapses against Brighton. That's all it was that we got punished for. And we're working so hard to try and create chances, and I think the best sort of example of that is our goal. Our goal's a move from our goalkeeper to the finish. It's a brilliant goal, but that's a lot of work to get that goal, and I don't think our opponents worked as hard as we did. So but you make your own luck, and you can only turn things your own way by doing the right things continually. So I don't think we're far away, and we've just got to keep to our beliefs.
Do you feel that the start of the European campaign, you maybe learned some of those lessons from last year? 'Cause it feels like the teams, you're not having to rotate quite too much, and the team seem no fitness issues.
Yeah, I think, touch wood, I think fitness-wise we're pretty good. I think we've got a couple of, well, more than a couple. We've got 3 key players out injured at the moment, which, you know, the huge players for us will make a big difference. But you're going to get that throughout the season, so that's par for the course, really. But it's making sure that you're robust enough to withstand any players that aren't with you, and you can still win games. And as I say, I think we've been really strong in our performances, but we need the results to go with it.
Thank you. Chris Conway.
Eddie, there is the undoubted connection between Jose and Newcastle because of Sir Bobby Robson. Jose has spoken warmly about Newcastle United in the past. Is that a bit strange for you as a manager? Because most managers you come up against won't have that sort of warmth or affection towards a rival club.
I don't know if it's that different. I think I've heard Jose's words about Newcastle, and I absolutely sort of echo them myself. So I think it's, from everyone connected with the club, I think great words about Sir Bobby and the role that he played in his career. I think that's really nice to hear. But I think the line sort of stops tomorrow when the game kicks off. We want to win. We're desperate for the points. It will be a competitive game between 2 great clubs. So, yeah, those words are nice to hear, but we're obviously desperate for the result.
Thank you. Just behind you, please, Chris.
Hi, Eddie. Right
Hi.
here, João Miguel Nunes for RTP Portugal. I would like to know if you see any favourite for this game, and also, how do you look to Mourinho's impact in Benfica? Do you think that right now is a stronger team with Mourinho?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yes, I'd say the characteristics that he has as a manager, his teams are very hard to beat, his teams are incredibly well organised. I think we'll see all of those things on the pitch tomorrow. I think he has a way of inspiring his teams to be very, very good off the ball. They're very disciplined in the games that I've seen since he's taken over as manager. There's highlights there against Chelsea. I thought they were very close to getting a great result. It's a really tight game, and we know it's a difficult place to go. And the game against Porto was equally, really tight. There was a very good defensive performance from his Benfica team. So I think we know what to expect, and it's going to be up to us to try and influence our players and deliver the game plan that we want.
Thank you. Lee Ryder, then George Corkin, please.
Eddie, I think Jose coined the phrase "park the bus" when he was at Chelsea. He could bring his team here to do something similar, given their last league game was away at Porto, and they made it very difficult in a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, it was a 0-0 draw, but it wasn't I don't like the phrase, to be honest, but it wasn't a park in the bus performance. It was a disciplined defensive performance, but they were very much an attacking threat in the game as well, especially in the second half. So I think that regardless of what tactical plan they deliver, I know they'll have attacking threats and ones that we're going to have to manage and defend very well. So we're under no illusions. It's going to be tactically an interesting game, a difficult challenge for us, but one that hopefully we can rise to.
And the home crowd, our crowd, has been spoken about in the Portuguese media as well, how important that's going to be. I mean, you know that anyway, obviously, but again, how important will that be on a Champions League night under the lights?
For me, it's one of the defining things. It's not the defining thing. The defining thing will be our performance and how well we attack and how well we deliver, our on the ball way of playing, and of course how we defend as well. We're going to have to defend well in the game too, but the crowd can inspire us and it can make the difference. And when it's a tight game, you're banking on that as the home crowd to try and swing the game your way.
Thank you. Going to George, then Luke, and then to Craig Hall, please.
Hi, just to kind of follow up on Mark's question, there's obviously kind of been a huge outgoing in the summer and lots of incomings. Does any part of you suspect or fear or think that this may end up being a more transitional season than you would ideally like, and can you afford a transitional season?
Yeah, there's quite a bit to that question. Yeah, I think whenever you bring players in and you lose players, that in a sense brings the word transition, because you're losing players and you're adding players to your squad. Hopefully we've got the balance right between not losing our identity, not losing how we play. And I don't think we have. I think when you look at us play, I think you can clearly see a Newcastle team and what we're trying to do. The effort's there, the commitment's there. Sometimes we haven't played with enough quality. I think that was evident against Brighton. But I think as long as we see the heart and endeavour and the attitude that we've always seen for the last 4 years, I think we'll get consistent results again. But there's no doubt when you lose key players, there is an element of finding a new way of doing things and getting attuned to the new players. And I do think there's an element of that in our performances too.
Luke?
Would you label Jose Mourinho as one of the all-time great Premier League managers?
I think you have to. I think look what he did. And I'm not saying that because we're up against him tomorrow. I genuinely believe it. I think he's, as I said, when he came in initially, the impact he made was incredible, really. I think he had an aura around him and his teams, very difficult to beat. So, I took a lot from watching his teams in my very early days, in my days when I was looking to sort of mould how I wanted to play and what I was thinking about coaching-wise. Definitely had a big impact on that.
Just one on your attacking game this season. It's fair to say it hasn't quite clicked. Is that down to the wingers more than Nick?
No, it's down to the team. Certainly, Nick's more than played his part. He's helped us incredibly since he's come in, and I think we're very, very pleased with him. I think the team can do more. I think, of course, the wingers can do more. Our creative midfielders can do more. Our fullbacks can do more. They've been, when you look at our fullbacks, they've been an incredible creative source for us for a long time. So we need goals from set plays, more goals from corners, more goals from free kicks, so that there's a never-ending list of ways you can score goals, and it only takes one to win a game if you're defending as well as we have done. So food for thought for all of us, really connected with the team.
Thanks, Luke. Craig?
Hi, Eddie. It's a similar theme, really. On the wide men in the modern game, they are such a rich source of goals and assists. In the Premier League, your four wingers between them have got no goals and one assist this season. Have you sat down with them? Have you taken them into a room, showed them videos as a quartet to try and get that sort of group responsibility, if you like?
Yeah, we have meetings with them all the time, individually, unit, team. So we're constantly working on all phases of our game, and the attacking side will be no different to all the other areas of the team that you need to function to get a positive result. There is an onus and a responsibility in all the attacking players to contribute, but as I say, sometimes the problem doesn't always exist with sort of what you're directly looking at. There can be another reason behind it. So it's giving everyone accountability in the team, me included, to try and find a solution.
Just to pick up one of those players, because obviously Kid is someone from money, Anthony Elanga. Where is he at? Is it more a confidence issue than a technical issue right now, would you say?
I think Anthony is he's an outstanding player. I've got no doubt on his long-term qualities for the team. I think there's a settling in period for him that he's going through. He's having to make slight adjustments to his game. But I think, again, when you look back at if you put a highlight reel of what he's delivered, albeit no necessarily direct goal outputs, that's not all down to his contribution. He's put in some great crosses. We should have scored from some of them. But I think he's got a lot more to give, and I think he will give a lot more in the future. So I've got no doubts about his success here.
Okay, we're almost out of time. We'll take one more just from Kieran, please.
Have you sensed that there's a desire to really put right what happened at Brighton? There isn't a hangover?
Well, I think, of course. I think that drives you every day. The Brighton game was such a disappointment because when we equalised, it felt like we were the team that was going to go on and win the game. We had the momentum, we had the territorial supremacy. We were aggressive from front foot in that moment in the game, and we conceded from an attack really that we shouldn't have done in that moment. And of course, with such little time then to give ourselves an opportunity to get an equaliser, we still had 3 or 4 opportunities that another day you'd bank us to take. So that was a painful end to the game and a painful defeat, but that's what you have another game round the corner for, and we're looking forward to this one.
Have you seen parallels with previous seasons? Maybe Newcastle have always made, clocked up loads of points in the first 8 games. Do you think there's a reason behind maybe a slower start?
No, I think last year, casting my mind back, was a particularly slow start in terms of our performances. I don't think we had we had more points maybe than we deserved last year. I think it's flipped round this year. I think we had less points than we deserve, which is equally as painful as the other way, because the other way you're sort of doubting the long-term ability of the team, even though you're picking up points. Whereas I think part of my job at the moment is, because we're playing strongly in the games, is to back the team, know that in my experience I think we'll come good and we will be able to put a run of wins together, which is really what we need in the Premier League. And of course the Champions League, we're so early in the format, but we can't wait too long before trying to hit that winning run as well.